We getting over this hump together. That's me, Evangelist Angie B, Amazon International #1 best-selling author, mother, daughter, sister, friend to some, entrepreneur. Angie B is a mental health advocate, a motivational speaker, an ambassador for alopecia awareness, and media personality. Hello, everyone. I am the Queen Bee, Evangelist Angie B, and I'm honored to be here with you, a domestic violence survivor. She has endured physical and mental trauma and shares her testimonies around the world. Recently named by Contessa's Court, Women in Business 2023, we've been over some humps. And we getting over this hump together. Let's get it started.
What is this glitter?
I don't know what the glitter is, but hey, it's even on my bookcase back there. You see my bookcase glitter? Hey everybody, it's me, the Queen Bee, Evangelist Angie B, and I'm all natural today. Coming live from Studio B.
Oh, it's anything that's green.
Oh, it could be my
It's a green screen.
Could be. Let me try to
figure it out. Because I'm like, okay, the hat's green, the binders that are doing it are green.
There.
It was gonna trick me out. We gonna figure this out.
I know. We're gonna get over this hump together. Welcome to the show, everybody. You are joining us from our Studio B in Jacksonville, Florida. And this is my special in-studio guest, my son-in-law, Swan, the bearded villain himself. I know this shirt cut justice to his beard, so I'm gonna try to do like this. There it is. That's a bearded villain for you. A bearded villain for you. Okay, so why do we do this show every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time? We do this show so that we can discuss humps or problems or things that may be going on, and you may be thinking you're the only one that's going through them, and we want you to know that there's other people going through the same kind of problems you're going through, and you are not alone. And maybe some of our viewers can, offer some suggestions. They can maybe, maybe help out. Let me see. In studio with Swan. So, Swan, I want you to tell everybody tell everybody about the bearded villains and what you guys did this week, because I think that's fascinating.
So this past weekend we did a back to school bash. It's our 4th annual back to school bash here in Jacksonville, where we give out backpacks full of school supplies. Last year we did it where we also gave out free haircuts. We partnered with a local barbershop here in Jacksonville to do that. This year we had partnered with Total Ink, which is a print company, so we can use their warehouse for all of the supplies to be stored, use their parking lot as a front to set everything up. One of the guys has a relative that owns a snow cone truck, so they pulled up.
Did I miss the snow cones?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Let me readjust this light. I'm sorry. I missed the snow cones.
There's a reason you missed the snow cones, though.
Yeah, what? What was the reason?
You missed the snow cones because you were over at the downtown library with Donna.
I was. Donna Gray Banks had an author presentation at the downtown library, and I had to go. It's either feast or famine. Either I'm sitting around here, ain't got nothing to do, or 3 things to do in one day. So shout out to Donna. She gave a wonderful presentation to the authors group.
Because Donna was more important than me and my giving away backpacks to children. See, I was told she's the guilt trip master, but I've mastered how to guilt trip mama.
Yeah, he is getting pretty good at it. So, well, congratulations on the community effort. I know it can be challenging to get the supplies and then get the word out to get those supplies to people. So if you happen to have any supplies left, How can people get in touch with the villains so they can get them?
So we won't have any supplies left. Anything that we did have left over, one of our villains in our chapter is a teacher, so he's taking it all to his school.
Oh, good.
So that's why when we do this every year, no matter what, we never have left over. We take it straight to the. He takes it to the school and gives it to the children in need that didn't have the opportunity to come out to grab it from us when we had it.
Good. Atlas the Wonder Dog wants some on-camera time.
What?
He joined me this morning on the radio show from 6 to 8 a.m. I let him sniff the microphone. Here, you want to
Say something. He's like, no, I just want attention. Y'all ain't giving it to me now.
He's sniffing the microphone, just like he did at 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. 6 a.m. There you go. There you go. Yeah, he's a wonder dog. He's a wonder. He's a wonder. Okay, so we have a couple of questions that came in at the end of last week's show that we kind of want to discuss, and then we've got a couple of new topics that are all kind of related to parenting and getting folks back to school. You don't know nothing about that, and so don't worry. I think everybody has an opinion about what we're going to talk about. Okay, so the first comment came in last week from a viewer that was getting their child ready for school and frustrated because school uniforms are so expensive. It's not like, well, I don't know. School uniforms are expensive and supplies are expensive. And so the question was, how can I get more child support just to cover the additional cost for the child? And I get it. You know, it's like if you start a new job and you need steel toe boots or you need a specific uniform. I mean, anybody got any comments?
My thing with that is I don't really think it's a more child support thing as much as it should be a better. It might just be a budgeting thing. You might have to better budget the finances and make sure that the money you're receiving from child support is going towards that child. If you know in the summer, hey, I'm going to need to buy my child some more clothes and some school supplies, you don't necessarily have to buy an entire summer wardrobe for the child.
Yeah.
Because they're going to be, back when I was a kid, we were playing out in the dirt, getting dirty. These days, I don't know what kids do because I don't ever see kids. I see very few kids in our neighborhood playing outside. So that's just something to consider. Maybe just, it's going to be expensive. Plan for it. Budget for it.
It's like
I can't say because, again, I'm not a parent. I don't have children. But growing up, that was something my mom did. We would, whatever clothes we had for last year's during the school, that's what we wore during the summer because we were going to just tear them up anyways. And then beginning of the school year, we'd go shopping for new clothes and school supplies based off off the child support we got. But we didn't get child support from my father. We got it from the state because he was locked up.
Okay, so the state will pay child support if the parent is incarcerated or incapacitated. Right.
So the way they did it is they took it out of his Social Security, I believe, and they paid it up until he was released or until we turned 18. The downside was when my mom moved us to Florida, it got lost in the wind. We stopped receiving it. We only received it while we lived in the state at the same time. So I don't know what the process is. I just know we were receiving it. I don't know much more. I don't know the process or what the government says or you can and can't do. And it changes every year.
It does.
So what happened, what you had in law 2 years ago could be voided this year and be a completely different process.
Okay, so that is a hump that we want to look into. If you are a single parent and not receiving child support because the absent parent is not able to, then there could be resources for you so that you can receive Social Security. Now, I do know a single parent that applied for Social Security for her infant, and the infant receives the Social Security from the absent father. And so I believe the state would rather pay child support through that process than give you food stamps and
Well, they're going to give that to you anyways.
yeah.
Because it's one of those that at what point do they stop giving you child support? When you financially are able to support the child? Because at some point, if you're making $300,000 a year and the father's only making $60,000 a year, you see what I'm saying? At what point do they stop taking from him because she's, the mother's well off, or vice versa? The father could be well off enough with his children, because it doesn't necessarily have to be a single mother. There are plenty of single dads I know out here that are raising the kids without the mom because the mom just wasn't capable of raising the child.
And I do know, I have met a couple of people where the parent that has custody earned more money.
Mm-hmm.
No, the absent. Anyway, however it was, the judge did not award child support based on, it was like a percentage, like 33% of whatever the income was. It didn't matter what the income was of the parent that had custody of the child. It mattered how much income the absent parent made. So that's something to think about. Then as I was texting that person back to ask more questions to be able to present tonight's topic, their response was, well, do I have to let the grandparents see the child when they're not doing anything either? And I said,
And see, this is where me and you disagree in a bunch of ways. Because you feel like family is family, and no matter what, you should give them all a chance. And my family is a perfect example. There's parts of my family that I made very clear when I was first dating your daughter, we do not associate with them.
mm-hmm.
And you were like, well, let's give them an olive branch. Let's reach out.
And then when they said something wrong to my daughter, I wanted to punch him in the throat.
And what did I say?
I told you.
So if the grandparents are absent,
Mm-hmm.
we have to determine why are they absent. Are they absent because they're just too far away? Do they live in California? You live in Florida? And they just can't financially afford to travel? Because, we've seen the economy today. We've seen what flights look like. You, the one that just flew to Detroit, turn around, get ready to fly to Texas. So is it that, or is it they don't want the drama? Because there could also be the aspect of they don't want the drama.
Yeah.
Because let's say I have a child that has given me a grandbaby.
Mm-hmm.
Say I have a son.
Mm-hmm.
Baby mama has custody.
Mm-hmm.
My son and his baby mama do not speak, do not get along.
Yeah.
How am I supposed to reach out to my grandchild without reaching out to the baby mama that has made it toxic with my son?
Yeah.
And for me to rekindle that could cause turmoil and grief between me and my son.
Yeah, you gotta be team 1 or team 2.
They always make
sister,
you choose.
Yeah, my sister's always team Angie, no matter what's going on. However, I am the former daughter-in-law to a wonderful God-fearing woman in Albany, Georgia. And when she and her son, had conversations, and me and her son were no longer together, she would call. Even when I was at my mom's house, listen, I just want to say hello to the children. She wanted to keep the lines of communication open with the grandchildren.
And I understand and love that, but there's one thing we got to remember.
She wasn't racist.
No. That's just my family. The thing we have to remember is not every family has the healthy dynamic that my wife's family has, be it her mom or her dad's side. So not every family is going to be open and as carefree and good-hearted as others. A lot of families are a lot more toxic than that when it comes to baby mamas and children and things like that. They'll sit here and drag you through court trying to take custody. I have a friend who lost custody of his daughter, not because his baby mama lost custody, but because his mom didn't want him having a child.
Because
a grown adult.
Well, but I know
30 years old lost custody of his child to his.
But I know how mothers can be. You know, I ain't trying to talk about nobody, but okay, I'm the mother. I've got, steady income. I got a home. I got stuff. So when you have visitation with your child, what you do? Drop the baby off with me while you go off doing your other things. And so no, if that's custody, then no, the child needs to stay with the child's mama, because I do not appreciate folks that just.
But no, what I'm saying is,
okay, fix it.
Him and his baby mama were trying to decide custody, who was going to have the child and who was going to be stuck on child support.
Okay.
His mom,
the
child's grandma, came out and took custody and adopted the child.
Oh, yeah.
So now,
all wrong. Yeah.
So now,
but that was in the best interest of the child, because the mom was stable financially, probably had a steady place to stay, resources. Okay.
It was because the state of Florida did not want to give custody to a man.
Oh. Well,
so you got to take those things into consideration. The state can be biased.
I know some people that are biased.
He was better suited to raise the child than the baby mama was, but the state didn't want to give it to a man, even though the baby mama was a drug addict. So grandma took the custody. But now him and his mom don't have a great relationship, and he struggles just to see his child, who is now legally his sister, because she was adopted.
Oh,
yeah. So not everyone has a good relationship. Some of them are just out the adoption process. It's not everyone has good intentions. A lot of people nowadays are out for themselves.
Yeah.
And they do what they can to put themselves to be better, or at least appear to be better than others.
Yeah.
Don't necessarily mean I have the best interest or I'm the better person. I just look better on paper.
Yeah.
And I present myself as this almighty, but in reality, I'm not worth a damn.
Well, I do appreciate that explanation, because the mom and me, I was about to go off, but and thank you for the comment. Somebody just texted and said you should go without makeup more often. Thank you. I appreciate it. It's all about acceptance and self-love and what we think we need. And this is the month of August. This is National Hair Loss Awareness Month. We call it Alopecia Awareness Month Eve. And all of us little baldies are running around, getting excited, trying to figure out how we're going to wear our royal blue next month. And this month, our focus is shifting from awareness to acceptance. Okay, and I'll explain. Awareness means, if you're looking at me like, why she bald? Where her eyebrows? She ain't got no eyelashes. What's going on? So then you have to explain. Okay. Well, some of us were witness to one man going on stage and smacking another man on national TV, and so now everybody seems to know what alopecia is. The awareness has dwindled off, right? The other thing that happened is that FDA approved a medication that we can take to tell our bodies to stop attacking our hair. For some of us with alopecia, it's like we're allergic to our hair. Our body literally will attack the hair follicle, and things will happen. And so the FDA approved a drug that we're supposed to take, and everything's supposed to be all right. So now people are like, well, you don't have to be bald. You can take that drug. You can get some tattooed eyebrows. Here, let me glue on some eyelashes and let me do this.
Hold on. Are those the same people that don't believe in the COVID vaccine?
I think that's a different topic altogether. That's a different topic altogether. So our point is that here's Tracy. Here's your bracelet. Alopecia is real. If you didn't think it was real, then now you got, FDA has said not only is it real, but there may be a cure. So everybody is still like, well, why don't? And we're like, how come you just can't accept me for how I am? I got on deodorant, I brushed and flossed. Okay, there's nothing about me that's offensive. My perfume may be applied a little bit heavy. Well, just a little. But acceptance helps with self-esteem. Over the years, we've talked to many people, some women who won't even let their significant others see them without their wig on.
My wife. How long were we dating before she finally let me see her natural hair? It was like what, 4 years? 4 or 5 years?
One of my sisters just got married. It's been a year, and I don't think her husband has ever seen her without some accessories up top.
I will say I have finally gotten my wife to go natural a few times out in the public. You've been witness to it, and you'd be like, ooh, she out here all natural.
Yeah.
Ain't none of us want to say nothing until we're outside because we don't want to jinx it while we're still home and she'll throw on her wig or a wrap.
Yeah.
But since our trip to Mexico, and she got the braids now, she's natural all the time.
Oh, I love it. Well, I truly think the beautiful part about me teaching you to accept me is that now I continue to accept myself. I can go out the house, without having to
put on a giant hat.
Well, I still go wear my giant hat because it's still Florida and sunscreen only lasts for so long. But, I will go out without my eyeliner, without my eyelashes, I believe it goes back, and I ain't saying no blame, but I'm going to say this because it's been a hump all my life and I'm learning to get over it. I remember in high school, I was getting ready for prom or homecoming or something. There was some special occasion where I was all dressed up and all my grandparents and everybody was at the house waiting for me to come down the stairs so they can take pictures and then I could go, right? And I came downstairs early to get something. I wasn't finished getting dressed, but my granddaddy looked at me and said, ooh, the dress is nice, but did you gonna put on some lipstick? How about some rouge on them cheeks for a little bit? So it just kind of set me up to thinking, okay, if all this looks nice, then this needs to look nice to go along with it. And I have continued to think that way. Now I'm feeling like I'm all right. You're going to have to accept me, or you don't have to. But I don't have to. I mean, I remember somebody saying, well, you can't go out the house without big earrings. So, but why not? Why not? So that's a hump. And that's...
We'll get over that. I'll work on that for the next couple months while you spending more time over here.
Okay, that's fine. All right.
Get you to accept yourself.
Speaking of acceptance, here's some information about our 7th annual event coming up next month. We'll be right back.
Save the date, September 14th through 17th, 2023, for the 7th annual Bold, Beautiful, and Bald Weekend Retreat for Alopecia Awareness. Our travel partner this year is Stephanie Fowler. Call her for your arrangements at 470-331-1788. The 7th annual Bold, Beautiful, and Bald Weekend Retreat for Alopecia Awareness. Our theme this year is completion, keeping our faith over the struggle. Log on to boldbeautifulandbald.com for more information. Bold, beautiful, and bald.
Hi, this is author Avalon Celette Brown. I am the visionary of this project. Recently, I've been speaking to different nurses who have been expressing and voicing their challenges and their frustration while working in the field. So I decided to reach out to different nurses from different specialties and bring them together to create a book so that they can write about their experiences, their challenges, their frustrations that they experienced in nursing and how they overcame them and why those challenges did not make them quit. This is going to be a very important book for the next generation of nurses because they can see that they are not alone out there. The nurses before you have gone through these same type of challenges, these same frustration, but they never allowed it to make them quit because nursing is their passion. And this is what we want you to know. Keep your passion. Never let them make you quit.
Audiobook produced and promoted by Angie B. Productions.
Okay, so you guys saw the promotion for the Bold, Beautiful, and Bald Beauty Bazaar. And if you cannot join us live in Daytona Beach, Florida for the Beauty Bazaar, if you have a business you'd like to introduce to our guests from around the country, you can place an ad on our souvenir directory. We are looking for sponsorship to pay for a couple of things. And keep in mind, this is our annual fundraiser for the National Alopecia Areata Foundation. Okay.
And the villains will be there to provide support for all vendors. So when you guys show up, find somebody that's a bearded villain. We'll help you unload your vehicle, get everything to your table.
They'll either have the ball cap or a shirt, or
we'll have something.
They'll have a beard.
If you see a bearded man, he probably belongs to me. In which case, I am in charge of getting them all out there.
Thank you. So I appreciate that. I do. Okay, so I know we confirmed that we've got a barbecue vendor coming and a vendor with fried chicken dinners. We do have room for 3 more food vendors, so that snow cone person I need to talk to. The Bloodmobile is scheduled to be there, and Fill the Box is returning. PHILL. Fill the Box is a blue, looks like a recycle bin, but it's a blue bin that will be delivered to our event. And they're asking for household items to be placed in the box. Rug, towels.
I didn't see that last year.
Yeah, I know. A lot of people didn't see it last year. So Fill the Box will be there. You can please bring nice things, household items that they are able to give away. And what happens is they weigh what's been put in there, and then we get a check later on. Last year's check of $75 went to print our flyers that we're distributing this year. And so we don't get the check in enough time to go with our annual donation. But we're really hoping to get, a couple of $100 just from you bringing things and putting it in Fill the Box. So we'll have more information about that later.
You say rugs, you say household items. So what about kitchen stuff?
Shoes.
What about kitchen like cups? What about cups, plates, pots, pans?
Yeah, as long as it's not glass.
Okay.
And they have sent over a list, and I'm gonna put it together on the flyer. But things that a family could use in their home that's clean, in working order. Okay. I know that at one point somebody said they were going to donate their old cell phones, and I was like, "Hey, that'll work because somebody's going to need them." And it's heavy. It'll weigh something. So we got to fill the box.
That's why I was asking about the pots and pans.
Yeah, really. So get ready for that, and you'll hear a lot more. But listen, you guys also saw a commercial for the new book, Nursing is Our Passion. We Can't Quit. And you and I had a discussion that leads us to our next topic. Discrimination isn't always black and white. And I
remember this conversation from this morning because
I discriminated
and I called it out.
Sure did.
So context is Mama here went to the hospital a couple weeks ago.
Hey Janet, thanks for watching.
Maybe 2 months ago.
Yeah.
She went to the hospital and she had to use the bathroom. Mm-hmm. And the male nurse was offering to assist her, and she was like, "No, get out of here," because he was a man. She looked at him and said, "I am a girl, you are a guy, go away." she discriminated against the nurse, not because he was a black male, but because he was a male.
No, I discriminated against.
It's because he was a man.
Yeah, and I was on some good drugs and not thinking it through. So, yeah.
But male nurses deal with that every day because they're going to be giving patients medicines to take care of their things. And so they're either going to be told, hey, you're gay, because male nurses must be gay, or they're told, I'm a female, you can't be in here while I do these things. If it was a doctor, would you be questioning it?
But see, I don't think I'd be questioning it because the doctor comes in and before we got to spread him or something, he's got a nurse right there. I don't know why that makes me feel a little bit more secure, but this nurse who had good bedside manner, had taken very good care of me the whole day, had answered my questions when he really was doing his job. And my daughter was there in the room, which is why I really don't know why I was tripping. But
you had a female in the room with you.
Yeah. So,
and the irony is a lot of these nurses spend more time in school than the doctors do. So they know their stuff most of the time better than the doctors. Because doctors know specifics, nurses learn general. So they learn more because they have to know different. They don't have a specialty.
Yeah, I have met a few nurses that have gone across the board from children addicted to drugs to neonatal to
my aunt's neonatal nurse. My grandmother was a generalized nurse.
Yeah.
Who in the military, you had everything from a simple headache to a bullet wound trauma.
So I say all this to say I'm working on my next chapter for a new book, and it's going to be volume 2 of the book that you just saw. This one is Nursing is Our Passion, and it's going to come from a male nurse's point of view. And just like I wrote something in this first book, I talked about the nurses that were in my family. I'm going to share my tale of discrimination and ask for forgiveness because I really didn't even look at it like that. And unfortunately, it helps me to understand discrimination a little bit more because if you don't see it yourself, you figure, what's the big deal? So if you are a man, you know a man in the medical profession, and you have stories that sound kind of like mine, oh Lord Jesus, get in touch with us. We would love for you to be a part of this second anthology. We would love for you to be a part of it. Okay, just to recap, this is August. This is National Hair Loss Awareness Month. And on Sunday, we had a wonderful panel discussion that we're going to replay for you tomorrow night. So if you missed it live, I don't want you to miss this one. We not only shared stories about losing our hair, but we talked about how hair loss affects us on a physical, psychological, emotional way. So our panel discussion, they truly came together from God. So join us tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Same time, same bat station. You don't know nothing about that. You too young. Okay, we got to get to the next topic. But before we do that, yes, you did mention that I'm going to Texas. Yay! Curves on Purpose, Unmasking Alopecia, the fashion show. I am the MC moderator for the model workshop that takes place September 2nd. It's a breakfast and lunch that is included from 10 to 3. The first year I participated in this, the model workshop was fascinating, all about business, entrepreneurship, some ministry, but a whole lot of self-esteem. Like one young woman looked and said, when do I tell him that I'm wearing a wig? Before we get in the bed or after I'm already in the bed? So that's the model workshop in Houston. Shout out to Sharice Gregory for sending for me. I do appreciate you. It's going to be at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites. And then September 3rd is the fashion show. You can contact me for ticket information, and I'll send you over a link. And today I found out that Cyclone, our Christian rap artist that's in Houston, will be able to come and dazzle us with a couple of his songs. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited. So this event kicks off Alopecia Awareness Month. Okay, that's the first weekend. Then, we got the third weekend. You're going to come back for the Bold, Beautiful, and Bald Beauty Bazaar. There we go. That's the third weekend in September. This was our picture from last year. And we don't want you to miss it. Go to boldbeautifulandbald.com to say hello. And then at the end of the month, we got something new. But right now, we got special in-studio guest, Sweetie B. Hey, girl, somebody was asking about you. And so, hey, Sweetie B has arrived.
Look at shoes.
I love her little head. Oh, hi, baby. Hi. She's officially taking 4 or 5 steps by herself. She brave. She's still telling the dog down.
She's still picking Uncle Swan over mommy.
Oh, Lord. No, I don't think so. But she still knows her nose. And now we're learning. Yep, she got Uncle Swan's nose. There's his nose. And now we're learning toes. There it is. Good job. Good job. So thank you for making that appearance. And I know it is wonderful to see the family grow and to see everybody.
Go back to mommy?
Everybody.
Or are you gonna stay? Are you gonna hang out with us for the rest of the night?
No.
Mm-hmm. She said not. She said I'm shy.
Thank you. And then we're ending up the end of Alopecia Awareness Month with Camille's Divine Unity. It's her walk and picnic, September 30th in Memphis, Tennessee. Yeah, I gotta find me a flight to Memphis. But so proud of Camille, because Camille sat with us last September at the Bold, Beautiful, and Bald Beauty Bazaar, and she was like, I always wanted to have an awareness walk. And we were like, we'll do it and we'll show up. So it's to the point now where every weekend in September we're going somewhere, and I'm grateful for that, and I'm so proud of Camille for launching this inaugural event. She's also launched a sorority for baldies. I have to tell y'all about that later. Yeah.
Do I get to join?
You know what? You got just a little bit more hair and a little bit too much testosterone. I don't think.
Camille, can we work something out? I know you love me a little bit.
Camille is great. Camille.
Let's not have a flashback to the first Bald Beauty Bazaar that I helped you at.
That was 2017. Wanted to tell everybody we was on the budget.
Next thing, all I know is I got asked to come and have fun and look at everything. Next thing I know, I'm working. I'm wearing a chef jacket, feeding everybody.
Well, yeah.
Mama and my wife, who was just my girlfriend at the time, decided to leave me alone for 5 minutes. They come back inside and all the models were flirting with me. I'm surrounded by, 10, 20 models just flirting with me. My wife walked in, she go, what the hell happened here?
Well, you had meatballs and sandwiches and, we had to feed folks. So.
I responded with, you left me in here with beautiful black women. I'm gonna find me one.
So she had to hurry up and marry you. Had to hurry up. So I tell you, I love that you have been with this show, this Wednesday night time slot.
I've been with this since the beginning, and the Beauty Bazaar, I missed the first year.
No, first year was 27. That year when you were serving
it
food.
Was.
That was the first year. Because remember, we had all these models.
I've been around too long.
We only had one bald model, but all the rest of them came from a modeling troupe and a boutique. And the Lord kept saying, this is good, but this is not what you want. And I'm giving you the desires of your heart. And I said, Lord, I want a room full of baldies. So I'm not the only bald woman in the room. And this is what he has given us. So if you are a baldy, whether it's alopecia or fibromyalgia, whatever it is, if you rocking a bald look, come join us in September 16th at the 7th annual Bold, Beautiful, and Bald Beauty Bazaar. We're raising money for alopecia awareness. We're spreading acceptance, and we're having a mighty, mighty good time. We're having a good time. Okay, so we talked a little bit about child support. We talked a little bit about discrimination. Now, Sonia says and we're gonna have her as a guest on another episode of the Moms in Ministry. But Sonia was talking about, what did she say? Those folks that just don't want to put folks on child support. I hate to use that term, but because of whatever reason, they can't, they don't know how to, they won't. So who picks up the responsibility? Is it the grandparent of the non-paying?
No. Okay. Grandparents had nothing to do with this child.
Yeah, well,
I look at it. So the way I look at it is, we should not be holding other family members responsible for one person's decision. Mm-hmm. If I have a decision to have children, it's now my responsibility, and my responsibility only to provide for that child. If I fail, and the woman I chose to have a child with decides to put me on child support, that's her choice, and now it's my responsibility to make money to pay for that child. Additionally, if she chooses not to put me on child support, that is her responsibility, and her responsibility only, to now provide for that child. You know, the father still has to make up. But if she's making that decision to not do it, she's making that decision, or making that choice to say, hey, the relationship with the father is more important than any money that he could be providing. Or, hey, he ain't got it. I'm not trying to put him in a harder situation, because eventually he might come up, or eventually he might be able to provide for his daughter or his son more in the future. But if I put him on child support now, it'll keep him from ever making it up. So I don't know, but I just don't feel like, I'm sorry, if my sister has a child, mm-hmm. I don't need anybody coming to me saying, hey, are you going to help pay for this child? It's not my child. I didn't make the decision to have the child. Mm. You see what I'm saying? Like, well, yeah, you have a great big heart and you want to be a part of their life. Yeah. But on a responsibility level, you are not responsible to raise or contribute anything to that child's life, because it wasn't your decision that you made.
Okay, now let's just talk about decisions. Some people make decisions based on heart or thought or prayer or whatever. Mm-hmm. Okay, so later on down the line, that decision ain't really looking, and they're kind of regretting it, or they didn't realize the scope of the decision. For example, I know a single mother who, when she went to her parents to say, I'm getting ready to have a baby, the granddad was like, all right, that's good. But the future grandmother was like, do you really know what you're getting yourself into? Do you really know? And I think sometimes the decision is not based on if we really know.
And so I think it's funny, because how many times have you and the rest of the family asked me and my wife when we're going to have kids?
Oh, not me, because I told y'all.
But how many times did you ask when we were dating, when we first got married?
I was like, what's your plan? What, you know, what, how you
we always being asked, when are we going to pop out kids? Mm-hmm. We know what the responsibilities are, mm-hmm. that, and what kind of emotional, physical, and financial decisions would have to be made in order to have children. We know, yes, we are in a great place right now where we're able to provide a roof for family members when they're in need. We're able to make sure you guys are fed, make sure you guys have a roof, AC's on, electricity's on, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Internet's on.
The Wonder Dog is on duty.
There's always a vehicle here to get you guys around, so you're never stranded, never feel like you can't go nowhere. But we know we can't raise a child just yet. We see how expensive raising a child is.
And I remember what you said about them school shootings, that when you decide to have a child, you got to be at the school with that child in case somebody show up and want to act stupid, so you can. I get it. I get it.
That is a sad fact, because it's one of those, yeah. I've looked at it and I'm like, look, I don't want to raise a child in the world we live in today. It's not getting better. It's a child now. It's safer to not have children than to send a child to school. Mm. So that's the issues, is not anyone's going to know what they're getting themselves into
until they get in it.
Until they're in it. But at the same time, a lot of people are basing their decision making off of the life they've experienced and not taking into consideration the fact that the life they grew up, the life they were raised in, the neighborhood they were raised in, the schools they went to, it ain't the same no more. Like I said earlier, when I was a kid, I was outside playing.
Yeah.
Nowadays, kids don't come outside.
And it ain't got nothing to do with the heat.
They just antisocial on the internet, playing with people all across the world. So when they go to school and they got to meet each other face to face, they don't know how to interact. So they don't have the social awareness and skills to be able to communicate with one another. And that's where this animosity comes into play and violence and things like that, because they don't know how to interact as humans with one another.
I remember somebody saying that their child, their 10-year-old, was calling they were on their virtual reality headset and calling those people their best friend. And the mom was laughing like, that ain't your best friend. You don't know where to, because the definition of best friend is different when you're in school with somebody or playing in the playground with them or working with them virtually. It does make a big difference. It does make a big difference. All right, we got one more topic for tonight, and the show is almost over. Before we go, I want to introduce you to a couple of book projects that are coming up. Now, one thing I love about Christopher is if I say, Christopher, I need you to write something, he don't ask what it's for. He just writes it.
I just need to know a topic and a general idea of what you need.
Yeah, now Christopher is a published author. He is in Confinement Chronicles. You can find that on the website, thequeenbee.com.
One and two, right?
Yeah, you're in there. And that whole book is like 290 pages. It looks like, a Bible. It's just chapter after chapter of stories that people went through during the pandemic. Well, one of the chapters we extracted and turned it into a special edition. So first you're going to learn about that alopecia special edition, and then I'm going to play some videos for topics that you can write about, and you can become an author just like Swan.
New from Inspired, the Alopecia Awareness Special Edition. Visit laderopress.com. 9 brave souls share their alopecia journey in this Confinement Chronicles Special Edition. Online everywhere. Hashtag I refuse to stop being me. The Alopecia Awareness Edition, encouraging testimonies birthed out of the 2020 pandemic. Stories written and compiled by Angie B. and Barty Productions. Published by Ladero Press. Inspired. Reading for the whole person.
Okay, so that book is now available. These next 2 books need stories from you. So take a look at them, figure out which one you'd like to be a part of, and get in touch with us.
Did you grow up in a church that offered testimony time? It was generally a 30-minute session before service began where congregants could stand up and share something good that happened to them during the past week. Well, this audiobook is all about testimonies, medical survival stories, car accidents, a lack of faith, and more. Stories from people just like you that found themselves wondering, am I going to die? I thought I was dead. Stories of survival that will inspire, transcend, and encourage your mind. An audiobook anthology compiled by evangelist Angie B. Produced by Angie B. and Barty Productions. Coming soon. On April 1st, 2023, our Father woke me up to begin this writing. As my computer awoke from sleep mode, a Facebook memory popped up. At first, I didn't want to read it and fall down that rabbit hole of clicking and reading and clicking and scrolling. I had spent March 31st in the ebbs and flows of life, receiving great news and experiencing greater stress. During my waking hours, I longed for a peaceful night of rest, and last night did not disappoint. Now I see how God has allowed me to begin my healing from the grief. A marriage separation is a precarious place to be. On one hand, you miss the good times you shared with another. On the other hand, you find yourself traveling the cycles of grief, denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance, as defined by a psychiatrist in 1969. This next part of my story made me smile, laugh, and rejoice over the memory. It made me see just how far I have come with my healing towards acceptance. The Winds of Change by Evangelist Angie B.
Yep, that's it. So if you've had something that changed in your life, like a new family member, someone who moved away, someone you're divorcing, if you've had a change in your life for whatever reason, and you feel better about it, you're not bitter, you're not something encouraging, then we want to hear your story in the upcoming book, The Winds of Change. And so I want to thank everyone that commented and showed support on my Facebook post today. Today would have been my 10-year wedding anniversary. I know that Annie Mewborn talked about the number 8 stands for new beginnings. The number 9 stands for birthing. And I feel that 10 years ago, God allowed me to have 9 great years with new family and opportunities that have been birthed. And so I'm really feeling completion today as I celebrate my 10th year of really being able to accept that God would send someone to love me when I just didn't think I was worthy. So I've learned a lot, I've grown a lot, and I'm very, very grateful for those that are taking care of me.
To be fair,
yeah,
9 years ago, you didn't have somebody come in your life that could love you. You already had that 32 years ago.
Yeah,
when your first daughter was born.
That's true.
And then 30 years ago when your other daughter was born.
Yeah.
They will always love you and call you mama.
And I got 2 sons too, so that is really, really cool. Swan, somebody wants to know why you guys are called bearded villains. Why? Villains sound scary. Why bearded villains?
That's actually kind of easy. So originally, if you think about it, when you hear villains, you think of bad guys, evil people, big, brawly, scary people.
Intimidating, yeah.
Why are you assuming? Why are you stereotyping the word? We're here to break the stereotype.
Aww.
We're not here for you to, just because you hear the word villains doesn't necessarily mean we're bad people. We're going to look it. We're a bunch of big bearded men who hang out with motorcycle cuts almost.
Wow.
A lot of us wear Dickies for our formal meetings.
Yeah.
When we go to chapter meets or any events, we'll wear what we call our cut, which is just a vest with a bunch of patches on it.
Oh yeah.
Most of our patches
Mm-hmm.
are for cancer awareness, autism awareness.
Yeah.
It started as a clothing brand. It turned into a brotherhood. Now we're an international beard club around the world with members in all kinds of countries.
Wow.
We have lost a few in the past year, chapter wise, because of world politics. We have a chapter in Iran that they were out there fighting for the women's right to be able to expose their hair. A lot of that chapter was sadly killed because they spoke out. We have a chapter in Ukraine and Russia. A lot of the Ukrainian chapter have had to step away as they go defend their country. The Russian chapter did not approve of the war and have stepped up to try to speak out. And you know what happens in those countries if you speak out against the government.
Wow.
But so we're out there trying to do work, try to create change, trying to be positive influences on our community. We can't change the world on a global scale, but we can make a difference in our local community. So we make it a point to do as much charity as we can. Orlando chapter likes to go out and continuously every weekend, or I think it's every first Saturday of the month, they go out to Lake Eola. They're handing out water and food to anybody, not just the homeless, but to anybody who asks.
Wow.
Or who accepts it. Got chapters doing that all over the country, where they're going out just feeding the homeless, providing food, water. We've done drives where we've collected clothing so we can go out and hand it to the homeless. Because we can provide them a meal for a day, or we can provide them clothing to last them a few weeks or months.
Yeah. And I remember years ago when the tour had our evangelism tour had an outreach event at the Daytona Beach Salvation Army, and the man in charge at the time basically said if churches and communities would step up, there would be no need for a Salvation Army. And that has been powerful, and that's why I love the Bearded Villains. You guys do come out to the Beauty Bazaar and you take good care of us, and the backpacks and
we're great at doing fundraisers.
Yeah.
We'll do a fundraiser all day, every day, and raise you some money. Just got to reach out to your local chapter.
Yep. All right. So anybody in Jacksonville want to reach out to you? What's your contact information?
Everything for us is done through Instagram. That is how we create our image. We share everything we do is through Instagram. So if you want to get in contact with any Bearded Villain chapter, go on Instagram, type in Bearded Villains, and then the city you're in or the state. Florida's got 5 or 6, maybe 7 chapters now, but New England has just 1 chapter.
Oh, good.
New York and New Jersey have 1 chapter.
Wow.
That they share.
Wow.
So it could be tricky. So try typing the major city in the area. If it doesn't pop up, type in the state. There's members all over. Our Jacksonville chapter has members all the way down to Daytona, all the way up into Georgia. Midway, Georgia, and I think we go as far north as Savannah, Georgia.
And tell me the dude in Daytona that owns the vehicle.
Chris.
Yeah, he
owns the auto parts store there in Daytona.
Yeah, we were able to go get some parts. Didn't even know he was there. So thank you. All right, Shanita Yerby, I see that you're watching. Thank you, dear. Happy anniversary. Has it been 1 year for you guys? Congratulations. We still want to see you on the runway at the Beauty Bazaar. So thank you so much. All right, our time is up. I know there were a couple more questions that I just did not get to. So I will do my best to get to them next week. If it is the Lord's will, we'll be back next Wednesday, 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on the Jericho Broadcast Network, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Any final comments, honey?
Go follow the Bearded Villains of Jacksonville.
Mm-hmm.
You could also find me on there as well on Instagram, c.swans88. But go follow Bearded Villains of Jacksonville on Instagram. Follow the Bearded Villains on Instagram, the main page. See what we can do to help you guys out. If you guys are out there trying to do fundraisers like my mom, trying to raise money, we can help.
Raise money and spread awareness. Accept me the way I am.
Always.
Bye, everybody.